Yo, what's going on, you guys? Today we're going to talk about 3 reasons why being cheap is hurting your business more than helping it. Let's get it. All right, y'all. Hey, so oftentimes I am amazed at how I see so much work coming from people. And I'm like, man, they sure are working a lot. And yeah, it may look good and it may seem good, but I'm gonna be honest, being cheap is something that we all have started somewhere in. But I remember a wise photographer once told me this, and I mean, this man is one of the OGs of photographers in Dallas by the name of Greg Daniels. He said, Des, being cheap today will let clients always remember you as being cheap tomorrow. And that stuck with me. He said, every time a client books you at a low rate, they never want to pay you your full rate. And that's the truth. And so today I'm gonna give you guys 3 reasons why being cheap is hurting your business more than it's helping it. And tip number 1, I'm gonna be honest, it's you're working harder than you need to. You're working a whole lot harder than you need to, and it's costing you precious time. It's costing you precious energy. And sure, you may have a lot of clients, and I understand there's a level to this, definitely when you have to start in this space and you're having to build your clientele. But you have to make sure that your rates are positioned in a way that allows you to scale. If your rate is never positioned in a way that allows you to scale, then you will always find yourself burning out. Burnout is real, burnout exists, and it doesn't just happen in the corporate space, it happens in every space. And so I need you all to understand, there's a great man by the name of Corporate JT who says this often, raise them prices. Yes. Now, I will put a caveat to this. If you don't have the experience, then maybe you don't need to be raising your prices. But what you do need to do is maybe build a portfolio that allows you to have a good enough rate that doesn't hurt you. I remember back in the day when we were shooting a lot of weddings, we'd be always upset with the photographer who was taking weddings for like $1,200, because we used to say, man, you're hurting the market. You're making all these other people think. But the truth of the matter is they were charging $1,200, but they weren't giving what was expected. On top of this, they weren't hurting the market, they were hurting themselves, because that was the same photographer that was shooting almost every single day, and they were never actually getting to enjoy the money that they were making. And so being cheap will hurt you. You're going to find yourself burnt out. But also, number 2, being cheap also attracts cheap clients. And I'm not gonna say it's nothing wrong with people who are cheap, but there is a way that you want to make sure that the clientele that you attract isn't giving you more headaches. I'll be honest, I personally think a lot of the grades that come from my head is not from my children. It came from cheap clients. It came from clients that typically complain more, the clients that are pestering you, the clients that are bothering, the clients that are leaving negative reviews are typically clients that you charge $25 for. The ones that you gave them a deal, the ones that you did not truly vet. And it's critical that in this industry, as a photographer, as a videographer, that you're attracting the right type of clientele. Now, I understand there are moments in which we're like, Des, hey, I don't have the skill. Well, you guys know my philosophy. If you don't have enough skill, then you need to be doing it for free. You don't need to be charging nothing. And then I have the other answer where people are saying, well, Des, I gotta eat. I gotta make sure I'm making money. Yeah, you do have to be making money. But maybe you need to be scaling it in a way that maybe you charge $100 for the headshot, but then you're charging $150 or $75 or whatever that number is for each edit. Scale yourself in a way that theoretically you're making enough to make it make sense. Because the truth of the matter is, having cheap prices and working with cheap clients is going to, once again, I'm gonna say it again, is going to cost you time. And you're going to find yourself working harder than you're actually making anything. Now, number 3, and I know this is one that's going to hurt somebody. This is one that you're going to say, man, I'm not ready for it. I'm not ready to hear this, but being cheap makes you look inexperienced. It is a big sign on your forehead right here that says, I don't know what I'm doing. Being cheap will hurt your business because you're never going to find the client that sees your value when you're too low. I had a good friend, we talk often, and he told me, Des, there has to be a number that's worth getting out of bed for. What is your number that you are willing to charge to leave your house? If you don't make this, you don't leave your house. And I have that number. My number doesn't matter. You have to figure out what your number is. And that's in different situations. That's in different circumstances. If this is an opportunity for you to be able to find more business and build your portfolio, and you're not concerned about this client being your main client, but this client mind giving you the experience, then sure, you can go ahead and charge a low rate, but it has to add value to your business. If you're not adding value, then why are you doing it? If you're not adding value to your bottom line, then why are you doing it? It's gotta make sense. And so I know this is a short one and this is a quick talk, definitely in the car chats, but I really need you to understand that the game that I'm giving you is designed for you to really help get out of the circle of being too cheap. I love the fact that photographers, and there's so many people that are wanting to jump into the photography space, but I love the fact that we're always working, but I think there's a level that comes that we get to enjoy what we're working for. You know, it's something called a vacation that you want to take. It's something called investing that you want to do. It's something called starting another business that you had a dream of. That won't happen if you're too cheap. So I'm telling you guys this. I understand you may have your bottom line. You may have the numbers like, this is what I need to make, and I'm good. Some of you all may be starting, you're like, man, hey, as long as I'm making $3,000 a month, I'm solid. That's more than I'd be making for anywhere else. Some of you might be in the space of saying, man, listen, as long as it's bringing me in something and I still have my full time, I'm good. It's just money on the side. But the philosophy of actually scaling and building your business to a level that is a business and not just a hobby is making sure that it has a value to it. Here's the reality. We never see commercials for Bentley. Why? Because no one's looking for Bentley on the TV. If you want a Bentley, you're going to the dealership. You're going straight there. And they're not advertising how much it is. You already know there's a price tag to it. The truth is, if you're going to be a true photographer in your market, a true videographer in your market, you need to have that same value like that Bentley. People need to know that when they see you, you're coming with value. And you don't want to be stuck in the circle that people are always knowing you as the cheap photographer. Oh, that's the person that always does the mini sessions at the same time every year, and I know I can get my family photo then. You don't want to be that person. And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with mini sessions. Mini sessions are great. But when mini session season is over, people are still expecting to pay that rate, and instead, you want them to pay your full rate. And that's where it hurts. Here's the bonus to this one. Be careful with your discounts. You need to always know that as a business owner, yes, as a business owner, that your discounts is always cutting into your bottom line. And so I say this to say, know what your discount rate number is. There should never be a moment that you're going and taking a gig that you charge 50% less. 75% less. It doesn't work like that. That's not business. And if you're not able to make it happen with what they're trying to pay, sometimes you have to say no. And our clients don't want to hear no, but sometimes we have to say no. And we have to chalk it up to, you know what? It was best that I passed up on this versus taking on a headache. Hey, that's all I got for you guys. I hope this helps. I hope that you all are looking at the whole picture. If anyone wants to talk to me about rates, you guys want to talk to me about how you should scale, you need me to look at your portfolio to help give you a value. I personally don't tell you what you should charge, but I will give you tips and ways that you can scale your business in that. Meaning, if you're charging X today, I can say, okay, when do you want to see this? And I will hold you accountable to it. If that's something that you're interested in, please go ahead and smash that button below, which is subscribing, as well as click on the link to schedule a call with me, and we can definitely have a consultation and chop it up. I hope this information helps, because at the end of the day, my goal is to help take you to the next level. Let's stay on the corporate hunt. Let's stay on the corporate grind. It's your boy Des. Peace. Let's keep getting it.